All right, guys. Today we're going to do something interesting. Uh, Today we're going to play with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has been blowing up on the internet lately, as some of you probably already know. It's all kinds of cool stuff. It's out there. I mean, basically, it's like an app that is trained by AI. Well, I don't know how to explain this, but I guess it's kind of like an AI API where it's been trained and able to answer questions, and able to write you a poem, essay, and better yet, actually, some claim that it can write you software and coding. So I've been playing around with it the last few days. I'm kind of late to the party. It's been out for, I guess, a month or two now, and from what I heard, things has changed a lot since then. But I thought I want to do this video anyway, just kind of show you guys my perspective on what I think about the AI and what I think about, this AI world and how to incorporate into our workplace, maybe, or even just our life, I suppose. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump in. I'm not going to go through how to register the account. I think there's a lot of video of doing that. It's pretty quick and easy. Just give out your username, email, and then I guess it will send you a code through your email or phone number, and then you can create an account. So I already have account created. Obviously, I play around with it already, so there are some questions already. Like I already asked some question and kind of knew the answer, but yeah, let's kind of go through some simple questions, shall we? Um, let's start with, how about I just do some numbers? Say what's 77 times 99. So we have 7,623. Let's go with, what's 1 kilo to pound? It's equal to approximate of 2.20462 pounds, right? So these are like the facts. There's no whatever like controversy about these things. We can continue to go on something more complicated. Let's say how to make a latte. So yeah, it kind of continue goes to give you the ingredients and then the measurements. I like the sugars optional. That's kind of cool. Uh, and then yeah, kind of go through the step by step. So obviously, there's probably multiple way of making latte, depending on the machines and whatever. But I suppose they have these a common way of making a latte. Probably espresso. It's common to create an espresso first, then you add whatever the other ingredients is. Again, these are like kind of like solid facts of like what it needs to be done, right? Like there's like temperature and there's like ingredients and stuff like that, which in some way it's kind of cool. There's like no debate about these things, right? Because why should AI be biased? It should just know. Um, let's go a couple more. What's the recipe for, let's say, adobo? Adobo is a popular Filipino dish that made with meat and seafood that it's braised in mixture of vinegar, soy sauce, spices. Here's a basic recipe for adobo that serves 4 to 6 people. Yeah, see, again, with these things, like, I just love it. I mean, I think in terms of finding recipe, like, when you do Google search about this thing, you get like, my mom's and my grandma's recipe, my dad's recipe, and then there's kind of different versions. With Chat GPT, it's kind of cool. There's just like one recipe. You're not fishing for like which one is the default one, quote unquote. So in this case, this is kind of default. Then you can do your variation from there. All right, now let's go with something a little bit controversial. But not too controversial, right? So we'll do what's the best 3D software? This one is a bit tricky. All right, so there are many 3D software programs available on the market, and the best one for you will depending on your need, the skill level. Some of the most popular 3D software program included Autodesk Maya, a Blender. Oh, it's thinking about Blender. I don't know why. It should be. I mean, I asked this question before. I don't know why it's stuck on Blender. Maybe it doesn't really want to say Blender it is, but I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm sure Blender is very widely used. I see a lot on Upworks and like smaller contract job. So, there's something wrong with the. Okay, let's see. Oh, interesting. So they like, I guess they skip 1 and 2. Oh, 3D Max. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't put it back. So I kind of lost my answer 1 and 2. So we have Maya, we have Blender, we have 3D Studio Max, we have Cinema 4D, we have Houdini, which is actually nice because Houdini is like the new kids on the block. The fact that the AI knows about Houdini is, I thought it was cool. But I want to know which one is the best. It's difficult to say which 3D software is the best because different programs are better suited for different purposes. Some programs are better for beginners, while other more suitable for professionals. Here are a few things to consider when choosing 3D software program: your skill level, your intent use, your budget, your personal preference, and then what? In general, Autodesk Maya, Blender, Cinema 4D widely considered to be some of the best 3D software programs available. These programs have a wide range of tools, features, and suitable for both beginners and professional. Okay, let's how about which one is the most popular? This is the part where I find is I don't know. It's a little bit too unbiased. The way I'm saying that is, I think, well, from what I heard, ChatGPT has been censored, so it's now trying less to be. I guess it's like trying to be like uncontroversial and then try to be more unbiased when it comes to these type of things. Personally speaking, being in the industry, I feel like the popular one in our industry is Autodesk Maya. As simply, it's per dollar is probably the cheapest, and most of school uses Autodesk Maya, and therefore when they come out of school, it's easier for a company to hire a Maya student because they already been trained with that software. It's a little bit harder with Houdini. I mean, I know school teach Houdini now. I'm not saying that Houdini is not popular, but I just really find it. I mean, a simple test is this: you go out and find a job, and then just look at what their requirements are. 9 out of 10, they probably just say, we need Autodesk Maya experience, right? Unless you're a FX artist, then there's a good chance of being Houdini. But then again, that can be very. But I really think if you just take a look at these job postings, you'll find out who's the popular one out there. So anyway, that's the one controversial one, I guess. Again, think these could change. My opinion could change. This is what we're making a video in the beginning of 2023. So yeah, maybe things will change by end of this year. Who knows? I want to go on to kind of go into more serious route because now that we know what ChatGPT kind of do is pretty general and then does all kinds of cool stuff. And as I mentioned in the beginning, there are people out there actually have it write tools or scripts for you. So I want to know if ChatGPT can write some Maya scripts for me. And before we do that, I want to show you my idea of what software I want to write. Okay, so one of the example that I want to show is I wrote a script previously where the animator wants the animation to be flipped. For example, they're animating a character. Let's say the right arm is up and then left arm is down, and because they are doing this kind of like a crowd animation scene, they want to quickly able to flip the animation to make it the right arm downwards and then the left one up. So yeah, I found a way that was able to scale the animation, and then so they can keep whatever they animated originally, but then it just kind of flip upside down. So to set up the scene real quickly, I'm just going to animate the sphere here. Actually, I'm going to make sure I offset the first frame, and then we also kind of do some x-axis and okay, and then maybe 2 more frames there, and then one last one. All right, so what does it look like? We're going kind of loop-de around, going down to the right and then come back, right? So the next thing I want to do is I'll just bake the animation, because oftentimes this is probably what you'll get. You're gonna get the whole thing baked. I'm going to select the 3 channels, and then I'm going to bake from the channel box. So that was pretty quick. So now if we're looking at the animation graph editor, we can see there's keys on every frame. Now, manually, you could scale it. There is a tool, which is in the edit, scale, and by default, it's 1 and 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, right? And you can see here, hopefully you guys can see it, the resolution might be too small, but here it says time and scale, time scale then pivot, and then value scale and pivot. So that means this value, this box, is going to be the scale, how you want to scale it, and then this is the pivot value. In terms of time, we're not going to switch anything. I'm just going to leave as is. But in terms of value, I'm going to do -1, and then the value I want to flip on the value of the first frame. So what that means is for the first, we just say like do the x, translate x, right? And then the first value is going to be 5.421, 12. So then I'm going to put that one in, and I will do apply. So as you can see, it kind of flip that animation, but then your first key is still the same. That doesn't switch, doesn't change at all, right? So we're not going to move somewhere else. So I believe that's the default. So that's what we want to do. But the thing is, we want to do that for every channel translation rotation, right? And um, it's kind of repetitive because you got to do one curve at a time, one channel at a time. And if you have a lot of controls, obviously one control could have 6, if not 9 channels that you have to do it manually. This is a perfect case for scripting. So let's see if ChatGPT can do something like this. Let's say, so what I'm going to ask is, can you write a Maya Python script that invert animation on selected objects? So sure, here's a simple Python script that can use invert animation on all select objects in Maya. I like that it comments of what it's trying to do also, so it's quite cool. It's like telling you what it is, and you can just copy the whole code and then try to run it. Let's see if actually it does what we want. So yeah, I was testing something else, so I'm just gonna delete that, clear the box on top. Okay, let's scale up a bit. Okay, so I can see it's scaled, but I also see the first frame got moved because if I run the script again, you can see, right? I don't want the first frame to move. So what I need to do is I need to go back and tell ChatGPT, how should I ask this question? Can you make it pivot on the value of the first frame? Sure, here's the modified version of the script that will invert the animation, also like the object, but pivot around the value of the first frame. Aha. Okay, seems like it's got its code. I'm not going to read the rest because, we're here just to test the code, right? Looks like there's error on line 14. It says none type. Okay. So I'm going to pretend that I don't know how to do script, and I'm just gonna copy and paste of the error message to ChatGPT and have it deal with it. So it says, I apologize for the confusion. The error you seeing caused by the keyframe value change line script. Okay. It's kind of interesting that I actually tell you why it's not working. So that's pretty cool. And then it goes on to modify the script for you. But let's see how this works out. Let's see. Time 0, 0. Right, copy the code. Paste. Line 17, we still have an issue. Again, I'm just gonna give it back the error to ChatGPT. To be honest, actually, I ran this few times now, and every time I run it, it's different. I think we'll get to where we need to be, obviously, um, but it's interesting to see that every time I did this, it's kind of go on different route or error message. Well, now that script is getting bigger and bigger, huh? All right, let's give that a shot. Curve p sphere translate x does not have any value on the first keyframe. That's not true. There is a value of first keyframe. It says the XYZ doesn't have the first keyframe. So let me see. I'm just gonna again put this one back and then see what it's giving me. You can fix this by skip the keyframe if it has no value or default, but the first keyframe does have a value. I think ChatGPT crashed. Oh no, we're back. We're back. Good. So it's going to check if it has any keyframes, which it should. I feel like the AI is not going to really like me. Ah, it's working. Or is it? Hang on. Well, we're not getting an error anymore, so something is not right. I have why is it setting a key on the frame 0? I mean, it's not even 0. It's like frame before that. And it's still scale not based on the first frame value. Let me see if I can ask to fix that. The script now is adding keyframe before the first frame, which I don't want. Also, it's not scaling. It's not inverting the animation based on the value of first frame. Fix it. Fix the AI. Please. Better approach. Get adder. Oh wow. Is he gonna rewrite? Here's modified version should be correctly invert the animation around the value of the first frame without adding any keyframes. Oh, thank you. Because that's exactly what I want. I don't know why you add a key on the frame before my first frame. You add a key at frame 0. Okay, so now saying that the script using the find keyframe curve, which equal first. Find the first. Is that gonna work? I never used that before. Find keyframe curve, which first? And then store as a time. This is a fancy shenanigans. Oh, maybe I'm just not that good of tool writer, but anyway, let's try it. Yeah. Seems like I feel like I'm going down the rabbit hole. Let us see. I believe in you, chat. You can do it. You can do it. We may have to resort to ask a better question from the beginning, which I don't know. Maybe we just have to rephrase properly. Because I feel like it's now gone too far and it's writing all these unnecessary commands or scripts just to address my notes, you know? If this is my employee, it'll be fired already. Oh my goodness. So, all right, let's try this. Let's try to restart over. Can you write a Maya Python script that inverts animation curves with based on the value animation curve that pivots. Did I spell the pivot right? P-I-V-O-T. Pivot. Pivot based on the value of the first frame. Pivoting the inversion around the first frame. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think ChatGPT is a little busy. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one just in case. So something does that. It gets busy when the Western world is all awake. because it's nighttime here in the Philippines. If I do this in the morning, there's no network issues. So clearly it's super popular at this moment, and a lot of people using it for whatever they need, right? Okay, let's run it. Seems like there is a new code that we can use. Everything selected. Flag value change. Let's just give this guy back to him. So this is something that I've seen when I ran the first time. So let's give this a try. It's still doing the value change. Not sure if that's still a good idea, but who cares, right? If it works, it works. That's kind of what we're going for. It's still not working, sir. Please fix it. This script first get the time of keyframe, then get the value of the keyframe at the time, and finally set the invert value using set keyframe. It goes to show, I think, like how you ask the question, it's quite crucial. Like I show you how I wanted to work in the beginning, right? And uh, but I have to kind of describe it for ChatGPT to write all that stuff. And sometimes maybe you could just write all that. Maybe someday there's AI and just look at what you're doing and then and then generates a script. I don't know, but let's try. Uh, yeah, the value change is not good. I feel like that's not the right way of. So sometimes I notice ChatGPT will use commands that doesn't exist. I don't know how it knows to use that. Like where does that information came from, right? I mean, does it not have the Maya doc, right? You're still using the value change true though. Yeah, again, I don't know. Maybe it's going to somewhere too fancy. Did it? It says inverted. I didn't see the curve invert though. It didn't do anything. Hmm. Okay, please, can you write my Python script that, let me see, inverts, that invert animation on selected objects, but what was I want to scale the value of -1 and pivot of first key value. Still using the value change. Why? Why do you like the value change so much? It did it, but clearly it didn't do any of that. That's so weird. Not sure how I was able to do it previously. That was able to write me a script. Um, I want to show you guys actually what it wrote for me. Uh, okay, well, I'm just gonna show you what I wrote for myself. Okay, this is what I wrote. This is just more like it doesn't even have a for loop. Um, but you know, based on the selection, you just run it. Oh no, invalid syntax. Which one? Oh, because it's not a locator. I, whoops. Anyway, this was a test on the locator, so I won't show you that, but I will show you. This is what ChatGPT wrote me actually, and it was really simple, but it got it. See, this is all I wanted. So, what's the conclusion for ChatGPT? Well, I have to say it's super cool. Obviously, there's things that it can do and do very well and super fast. You know, if you have things that's on the internet has a lot of data, such as maybe web design, maybe that's really easy for that person to just generate a code for a web design. But you know, in this case, it's quite hard, and I guess it's kind of like um, a pros and cons because writing Python in Maya is such a niche area that you know it's just not common, and because of that, if you do learn it, that puts you on, I don't know, maybe the top 10%, and that makes you job secure, makes you more valuable to the company, and you know you can continue get to do what you love to do, and then make it easier for your task because you can speed up with your scripting skills. So do I think it's going to take over some people's job? Yeah, probably. Does it, is it going to take over our job? Probably not anytime soon. Now, is it going down to the route of Terminator? Maybe. I mean, but I don't know if we're gonna see that in our lifetime. But I think again, what a time we live in. I think this is the exciting time. The last time we have these kind of excitement is probably like when the internet blew up and we got Google for searching anything under the sun, and then we have YouTube. We can watch anything that anyone generate, right? So it's definitely a great time to see to be live in, and just to see where the AI is going to take us. But I would say this, I for someone that doesn't know how to script, I just don't think the AI is going to take you from zero to hero. You really, really need to know the basic. And but even then it just doesn't make sense, like example I can give, it's kind of like it's probably better for you to learn how to draw. So when you imagine something, you can draw exactly how you imagined it. But if you don't, and you're trying to get someone to draw it for you, there's always gonna be some sort of interpolating of, and then like miscommunication. The person try to guess what you have imagined. It's just never the same, right? And so I think we're kind of there. This is what we are trying to do, having AI writing a software for us. And but then again, what if something break? How are you gonna fix it if you never knew how to write tools, right? So yeah, I don't think it's good for anyone that doesn't know scripting, and you're definitely not gonna be able to cheat that saying that you know how to write Python script, but you don't, and then you're having AI write it for you. You're you know you will be discovered very quickly. um, so yeah, I don't know. With that said, I think again, it's cool. Play around with the software. You guys can tell me what you would like to see maybe in the comment below. But until then, enjoy. Try out new softwares. Enjoy your craft. Continue learning, and then see what this will take all of us. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching the video. I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.